Hi, and welcome to part 2B, where are skills tested in recruitment? Here is where we're going to look at how employers assess you when you're going through all those interview and application processes. So, in this we see that a number of the skills assessed in recruitment. These responses were taken from a survey by the ISE in June 2021 from around 171 graduate employers. As you can see, there are assessment centres, interviews, group exercises, online tests, applications, presentations and other spread across, and we can see that there is a number of different skills that are being assessed. It's important to note that the same skills can be tested in different ways, so it's likely that you'll be tested across multiple stages of the recruitment process. We're going to look at which skills are tested where in a moment. What is important to note is perhaps the low number of skills that are assessed in the application process. This is what we think of as the paper-based process, such as your CV, cover letter or application form. Most skills are assessed in the more practical stages of the recruitment drive. So your early stages are focused on ensuring you have enough motivation and core criteria for the role. Of course, in your application, you are discussing your skills, but they can't be assessed as sufficient through description alone. This is important to note, as many of us, when thinking of our recruitment focus, look heavily on the application, that is, those paper-based tasks, but not actually training ourselves for the more practical elements, thinking that they will come later, which of course they do, but it doesn't mean we can't start thinking about them at the same time as our paper-based applications. Let's have a look then at where employers are assessing particular skills. So this is where they showed a preference for the top three, though of course, as I've mentioned, they're assessing multiple skills across the whole recruitment process. So as you can see on the left-hand side, we have those skills that I mentioned in earlier videos. And then in blue, you can see where they're most likely to be assessed by a graduate employer. And then in the green, second most likely, and third most likely in the pink. Of course, you may be assessed on those skills at multiple sites, but we can see a clear preference for those physical, in-person or online, group activities where they can actually see your living and breathing skills. Let's have a look at the next list then. So managing up, negotiation, self-awareness, again, all assessed in those person-to-person or more practical elements. Though of course, we can also see that there are some tests that start to come up and presentation. You'll notice for the negotiation and interviewing, group exercises, interview and assessment centres all scored the same. And this is likely because these are key areas where you can only really assess this skill through observation. So, it's important to think about how all of this information relates to your own experience. If you're currently in the process of making applications, then do think carefully about how you're linking your skills and experience to a role, but also think about how you might talk about these experiences and demonstrate them in interviews and group tasks. You can practice example questions in advance. For example, you may be thinking about how you might describe an experience that's to do with your degree study. You may be thinking about how you might describe some of your extracurricular activities. And you might be thinking about how you might describe some of your volunteering in relation to the roles that you're going for. Practicing those in advance can really help you to build confidence in displaying the skills that are being looked for by your employer. If you're still figuring out how to build your skills at university, but have a career area in mind, you might like to align your activities to future career roles. That doesn't mean that you can't do things that are not completely career related. For example, sport is packed with skills, as being the treasurer of your Warhammer Society. You must have fun at university, and if you can track your activities and skills at the same time, all the better. Next, we will come on to how you are and have potential to develop your skills at university, and you can head over to part 3, how and where you are developing your skills.